Hey there guys, so the last time in anime, Will and our group were up against an evil Grand Duke monster, and running away from it was impossible because it ordered other lesser monsters to find them. There was no way out, so Will told everyone that they have to fight and kill the Duke or else they will die here. Will had a plan, so everyone went along with it. To fight and take down the evil Grand Duke, but in their fight, whether it was magic or sword, both were useless. And one of the laser attacks from Duke broke the goggles that Elfie had given to Will, so it broke him apart. But after a good beating from Shaun, Will comes back stronger. Still defeating the Duke was far off, and there are crystal drops in front of Will, and a past scene showed a mother who's ready to send her child away for the sake of the world. Then Will remembers. It's wand and sword together, so he signals Shaun to attack, and Shaun did it, and right up ahead Will awakened a new power and devoured the fire magic and made it his own. Now no one could believe in their eyes what just happened, and with that new power Will cuts through Duke's attack and sliced it in half and puts an end to this fight. A magnificent display of miracle and confusion as to what just happened, but the new power now began to leave Will's body, but sadly that wasn't the end of the threat. All of the monsters that the Grand Duke was ruling went on a rampage, and none of them had any strength left to deal with them. Professors saw this, but they were too far away to make it in time. And just as Julius was about to die, a metal wand created a light circle and killed the whole stampede in a flash, and high-level annihilation spell, and just as everyone saw the spear wand, they all recognized the one who saved them was Eren, the king of Magia Vander. Will saw a whole party and a bagpack and guessed they must be returning from their campaign from the deeper floors. Nonetheless Eren saw the bravery of the childs and praised them for it. All the races that lives here worship Eren. But Will's attention was drawn to the blonde kid that was coming to him. Kid was surprised Will survived and asked his name. Will introduced himself, and the kid was Finn. On the other side, the root cause of all this obtained what they wanted. So that teammate of Headless took him away because he knew Eren was coming. Their mission was success, and now they are planning something even more disastrous with that sword. After this, the student praxis came to an end with 11 fatalities, all of whom were teachers. And thanks to their sacrifice no student died, and the school was calling anyone who had info on those guys. It was a hellish experience, but the survivors began to respite. Shaun was still puzzled about the duo they ran into. They only knew the duo were strong enough to kill 11 teachers. And aside from this there was nothing, and if Eren hadn't shown up they all wouldn't have been alive, but they still survived after a battle with Duke. Lehana said she assembled this team to earn recognition from the tower, and thanks to that she puts together a very reliable team and told them she's grateful to them anyways. She was super hungry so Colette offers some apples she brought for Will. Lehana loved it so Colette gave her some more. But hunger didn't go away so Colette gave some and just more and more and Lehana finished all the apples. She explained she's a close combat mage so it requires stamina so she has to eat considerably. But the fact remains she's a foodie and Wignall was also surprised when he first saw Lehana eating that much. This is the real Miss Perfect. Even Will was surprised because he's also a big eater but he's nothing compared to Lehana. But back to this seriousness, Lehana thanked Will for his judgment. If not for him they would have died. But Will says it was a combined team effort so the credit goes to the whole team, and Julius blamed Will because they nearly died when Will was scared. So Colette stuffed his mouth to stop his bickering, and Shaun asked Will about that power. He ate his fire magic and it wasn't a power that anyone had even heard about. It's different from everything. And once again Julius started to scold Will that he should have informed them about this, so this time Kiki stopped his bad mouth with her claws, but Will himself never knew he had it in him. And Lehana had a feeling this power is very special. Then Will asked about that Finn to others and Wignall tells him he was a supporter and he's from Finn tribe. Their tribes are the explorers of the dungeon but their kind can't use magic, so they helps mages into exploration with their knowledge. It's also known that only because of Finn tribe the mages made it to the 49th floor. Then later that night, Finn came to Cauldron to meet her and give her this sword known as Mage Slayer. They fought a group and lost 20 people on floor 40, so Finn bets the magic slayer is created artificially through experiment deep down in the dungeon. Finn was busy, so he asked Cauldron to analyze it. But more importantly, Finn was curious why Cauldron didn't inform her about Will. They look after mage but sword is Finn's territory. So Cauldron tells him Will wants to be a wand to become a Magia Vander. The air was super tense between them, and finally Finn backs off because it's Will's decision. So he entrusted Will to her and leaves, but Finn promised to poke his nose into it from now on. Finn is really someone who could make even Cauldron nervous, and the next day, Will started his daily training even after having just recovered. Others were also surprised, and Julius thinks Will is secretly a dwarf. So Wignall wants Julius not to compare his friend with those barbarians, but their Shaun couldn't hold back and wants to have this fight with Will at the Grand Magic Festival. Will promised him they fight for real, so Will was on board, and the two started their fight. Even after all that, they could still fight like this. And in the corridor Werkner saw this, and seeing him kids ran off. Some peaceful time everyone were living. Thunder Magia Vander was closely observing the sky barrier, and the regular daily routine was just like that. Elfie was watching the world from above as usual, and after 2 months, the school was going on, and Werkner understands the kids couldn't forget about that day. But they can't hold themselves back with the past because they have to keep moving forward. And now, the school year is coming to an end as the 6th year exams have begun, and if Will makes it through, he'll be one step closer to climbing the tower to meet Elfie again. The first season's journey was really beautiful until now, and the good news is that the second season is already in production, so just a little while and we'll see the next season again. So stay tuned to watch the beautiful tale of Wistoria, Wand and Sword. Until then, take care.